is that a story? Remember when I said getting the ingredients was the difficult part? Yeah, about that. I may have gotten ahead of myself. I can mix a mean drink, I could run this bar. But this is something totally new. I want to do it right. But you know what that takes? Credits. Lots of them. More than I have. And you have now outed yourself as someone who has clearly never attempted to jumpstart an interplanetary business venture. I need more than just a great product, which clearly I have. But I want to go big. Large-scale production, marketing, distribution. Here's the situation. Opportunity is staring me in the face right now, and I don't want to blink. This can be huge, galaxy-wide. I know it. So, I am willing to concede that I need some external help here. Investors. Know anyone who's rich and likes taking chances?
The men and women I knew who most coveted credits were involved in highly illegal activities. Also, they are all dead.
Okay, well, that is... It's not going to provide any direct help going forward, but, well, thanks. I am once again leaning on you, my very, very good friend, and looking for some help. You can't possibly turn me down, right? Well, a person of your obvious charm and grace must have some connections to wealthy individuals in the settled systems. I'm hoping you can convince a few of them to invest in my little business venture here with the knowledge that they will definitely, absolutely get their credits back. And then some. That's the pitch anyway. You really are the best, you know that? So, you know Walter Stroud, yeah? You both are in that Constellation organization? I think you should chat him up, pitch him the idea, see if he'll bite. If he does, we are that much closer. And if he doesn't, then we figure out a plan B. Go team! Catch you later.
That the odds of something killing us here are at an all-time low.
I'd like to talk to you about something. Lately, I find myself spending more and more time here. Business has appealed to me, but this is exciting. Oh no. You have any idea how much of my time gets wasted by people who start conversations with that line? All right, let's get it over with. What amazing situation have you discovered that I can't possibly afford to pass up? It's not poison, right? Wouldn't be the first time someone tried it. I'm kidding. I don't really think it's poison. That has happened, though. Word of advice. If you're pitching a product, you always want to be certain about it. Or at the very least, sound like you are. If it were anyone else, I might be inclined to nod politely, express some vague enthusiasm, and suggest setting up a meeting that never happens. But I think you and I have been through enough that I'll trust you and take a chance on this. All right, here's what you're going to do. Go pay a visit to my lovely wife in Neon and tell her I said I've been thinking about rereading Jules Verne. You do that, and we'll get the necessary paperwork underway.
Eon is for indulgence and decadence. I get disgusted and impressed.
Get out of my face. You want a coffee?
You don't want to pick a fight.
I hope Constellation is treating you well, and that Walter is keeping your budget reasonable. Oh, has he now?
My dear young friend, what have you talked him into?
And what better way than to leverage a starship builder? How very clever. Back before Walter and I married, he confessed that he had stashed away a credit stick in a copy of Around the World in 80 Days. Somewhere between a rainy day fund and a slush fund, he said he'd always had a bit of extra money set aside in case opportunities arose. I can't really fault him. They're his credits. He can do as he likes. But over the years, it's become something of a joke between us. When he wants to take a chance on something, it's his way of asking without asking if it's all right with me. I suppose it is. Sweeter when it pans out, but he does have a nose for these things. I'll draw up the appropriate paperwork for the funds. Thank you for bringing me his message.
If I was rich, if I can get some buy-in on this venture, it will really take off. Whoa. This is really happening. Okay, I just lost the ability to think for a moment there. Hang on, give me a second. Whoa, all right. That's really fantastic news. But we can't celebrate just yet. We're going to need at least one more solid investor. Oh, I'm sure he could fund most of the business in New Atlantis, if he doesn't already. That's not the point. If I put this all in the hands of a single investor, whoever that is suddenly has a lot of influence. If I have at least 2 investors to start, then one person isn't pulling all the strings, if any strings have to get pulled. Have I mentioned I'm not great with metaphors? So, having Walter backing us is fantastic, but I'd feel much better if there was a third party involved. If you know anyone, now's the time to call in a favor. Very clever. You are kidding, right? You do? I mean, are you really serious about this? Look, I will gladly take your credits if it means you and I can be partners on this, but I'm not trying to guilt you into it. So before you commit, I'm going to give you one last chance to back out. Okay? Yes, absolutely. Of course. No pressure here. See you around.
The whole place smells of fish. You would think that would keep people away.
Ever run into spacers?
I think I got them. What do you call them?
My time is far more valuable than you can possibly imagine. So this better be important. Yannick's little side business isn't enough for you, huh? Quite the budding entrepreneur. And before you say another word, you'd better stop and think for a second. You really don't want to try and pitch me on something I'm already working. Yeah, I allowed Yannick's little operation to continue. I am not feeling nearly so generous right now. So, what's your proposal? Generally, I like things local, so I can keep a close eye on them. You're going to have to do a little better than that. Would have to be, if I can't control it directly. Might help my image in the UC a bit, too. All right. I'll give it a shot. But I'm going to expect a few things. Like priority delivery for Neon, and a decent cut of the profits. And if there aren't any profits, well, I'm going to hold you accountable. You've got yourself a deal. Have your people reach out and I'll discuss transferring the funds.
If it were not for the lodge, I think I would avoid this city. It is all just too much.
We're halfway there. Another Walter Stroud likes my idea. Well, sort of. Actually, did he say he liked it, or are we assuming? Wait, what? Benjamin Bayu? The neon guy? The Aurora guy? Are you serious? Are you sure that's a good idea? Because if I'm being honest, right here in this moment, it sounds like kind of a terrible idea. You're right. Neon and New Atlantis, two of the biggest markets in the settled systems. That's pretty huge. This is pretty unexpected, I've gotta tell you. I'm going to need an airtight contract. That is one hell of an opportunity. I have to hand it to you. You really come through for me. Again. I foresee a lot of paperwork in my future, but for once, I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. Oh my gosh, did that really just come out of my mouth? Who even am I?